man, this might be a little bit harder of a podcast. So I am officially...
You're listening to King's Code Radio, where we are a movement of men rising up as kings unto the King of Kings, and producing massive results in every area of life. Here is your host, Paul Cooley.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of King's Code Radio. This is going to be a different one. First and foremost, if I look like I'm leaning one way or the other and I'm crooked, it's because I cracked a rib, and so I'm going to talk calmer and easy and probably stand funky because of that. But today is going to be a different episode for sure, and I have an announcement to make. And it's going to be one that may shock some of you. If you are a longtime listener, some of this news might be kind of strange, kind of different, kind of even shocking. But it is all for a purpose and it's for a reason, and I can officially now talk about it. The man who has been pro fight for your marriage, the man that's been helping men go from crisis to wholeness while they fight for their marriage, that guy, me, I am officially divorced. And yes, you heard that right. I am officially divorced. And if you've noticed that I've been super quiet on social media for the last few years, or at least a couple of years, that's why. And the reason why it's taken me so long to even announce anything, and this is really the first public announcement that I am doing, it's because, well, for one, it was a smart strategic thing court-wise and recommendations of attorneys and all of that I'm not going to go be talking about this publicly. And plus, I didn't want to harm anybody. And I think there was some stuff that I was working through as well, because how is it, and it probably is one of the first questions that many are going to be thinking about, is how is it can the guy that has run the Win Your Wife Back Marriage Summit and the Win Back Your Wife webinar and the King's Armory, which has always been about helping men go from a place of crisis to wholeness as they fight for their marriage, how is it can that guy be divorced? And so I'm going to be turning this into a series of the lessons that I've learned, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. I am going to say up front, though, that I am not going to use this as a place to bash my ex-wife. The fruit of her life will speak for itself, and the fruit of my life will speak for itself. But because I have seen and now have experienced and now on the other side of not only a crisis when the wife leaves and affairs take place and all of that, and restoration can take place and happen, it can. I'm living proof of that. But I think it's safe to say inside of a successful marriage, it still takes two. And there are things that led to the divorce, and I'll answer and bring some clarity to some of this. I don't really want to make it about me, even though it is about me. I'm doing this to be, one, extremely transparent, and two, because I recognize the need that there are a lot, and I mean a lot of guys that have good hearts, and they have disqualified themselves due to the guilt, the shame, the chaos that they have experienced inside of a divorce. So, the King's Code frameworks, what the King's Code has been founded on, has now survived two different sets of crisis, and technically three if I really want to get into it, but it has survived and stood. And I'm living proof of that because I chose to live by this code. And so that code that I learned back when my wife first left, was 8 years ago, whatever it was, and all that craziness, which if you've sat through the Win Back Your Wife webinar, you know that story. It survived, and it brought me through that. And then it brought me through, and I continue to stand through the fire of the divorce as well. Which goes to show that the King's Code has never really been about, the core of it has never been about restoring the marriage as it has about restoring and rebuilding the man. Because you can't restore a marriage and you can't make it to the other side of a divorce if you are completely broken and utterly useless and you maintain that. You have to rely on the Lord. You have to press in. And there are certain things you have to do to address the pain, address the lies, address all the damage that can be done in order to begin to rebuild. And that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing. I could easily just close up shop and disappear and not say anything and be just fine. Here's the awesome part though. I don't care what people think. And so I'm going to use this to continue to minister and help men rise up into who they have been called to be and say, look, I am living proof, and the guys inside the group are living proof that you can go fight for a marriage, you can go through divorce, you can go through crisis and deal with an onslaught of chaos and be under siege for long periods of time and still make it to the other side in a place of wholeness. You can still be under fire or even in the fire, while Jesus is going to be the fourth man in the fire, and you will come out the other side not even smelling like smoke. So I say all of that. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. So you're going to see some of the topics of the podcast begin to change a little bit. Yes, we still offer advice. It might seem weird marital advice coming from a single dude now or divorced dude, but I have a lot of experience under my belt, and now I see both sides of the coin. So yes, I am still very much pro fight for your marriage. I am still very much pro marriage. But there are going to be times where divorce happens. And I'll dive deeper into those topics and into those things and the lessons that I've learned along the way. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'll be sure to include some of those questions in future podcasts. But ultimately, I'm going to keep this short and sweet and to the point today. I am officially divorced. And the guys, that have found out about this, that goes, oh, that's why we haven't seen pictures of the whole family on social media and everything. Yeah, that's why. But now it's all over. It's finalized. It's done. I'm not under siege anymore. And now we are deploying many, many new things within the King's Code that I am excited about. Guys, if only the guys inside the group know about this. So if you're not inside the group, you don't. But man, we're coming up with some really cool stuff. We have now the King's Code Command Center app where you can now measure and monitor and do your daily inputs and really see progress of how you are beginning to rule and reign in life as a king. Or are you slipping? And this is a tool that helps you identify that quickly so you can pivot, adjust, and continue to rebuild and rise into the man, a king under the King of Kings. So I wanted to publicly, finally announce I am divorced, and the Lord has good things ahead. I am okay. I am good. Kids are good. It's been a process, but the Lord has brought us through to the other side, and we are continuing to now help men rise up in the state of crisis and stabilize in the chaos. I literally just got off a call with a guy that's been a minister for, I think it was 20 something plus years. 4 years ago, his wife said, I don't love you, never loved you, I'm out, peace out. And for the last 4 years, his life has been completely in chaos. That's sad. It shouldn't be that way, but yet that is the reality of what's going on. And so if you are a man, whether you are going through marital crisis right now, you might be staring down the barrel of divorce, you might be going through divorce, you might be divorced. I need you to know that this, in the King's Code podcast, King's Code radio, King's Code everything, is a safe place for you. So if you are a Christian man that is ready to pursue the Lord and rise up into who he has called you to be, despite the chaos, despite the fights, despite the war, despite the fires that you have been going through, this place is a safe place for you. We're going to rise up into who God's called us to be together as we continue to rebuild, grow, and rise in everything that God's called us to be and do the things that God has called us to do. So stay tuned for further episodes of King's Code Radio. We've got awesome stuff in store for you. I'm glad you're a part of this. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. And like I said, I can answer these questions on upcoming episodes. So until next time, guys, God bless. We'll see you next time in the next episode of King's Code Radio.